Joining us now is John Strand. John, congratulations. You are a free and cleared man. What does this day mean for you?
Charlie, thank you for having me on, and thank you for acknowledging the enormity of this moment. Myself and every J6er have truthfully been exonerated as the innocent, brave citizens that we were that day, showing up when it was unpopular and uncomfortable to do so, to stand up for constitutional integrity and our constitutional rights. This is a day of incredible victory, vindication, and a recommitment to the reality of truth. I thought it was incredibly beautiful and incredibly important what President Trump acknowledged in his historic inauguration speech, that there is a God, and in him we trust. That is what this republic is built on, that there are only two sexes, male and female, that God has created. And this truth about January 6th is also incredibly important, that we no longer live in the lunatic left paradigm of a false reality about January 6th being an insurrection or any of this other rhetoric that was clearly not only false, but deeply malicious. Julie Kelly was spot on in her comments about the malicious and unprecedented nature of a weaponized DOJ that waged what was tantamount to a kinetic war against its own citizens. The carnage is that catastrophic, and we must have a national reckoning with what has been done to these citizens and their families, myself included, and many others, some who lost their lives, who lost babies, who lost families, fortunes, and sacred honor. It was all obliterated.
Oh, it's terrible. But John, I need to make sure I mention the January 6 defendants who killed themselves in this process. Matthew Perna, Jord Meacham, Chris Stanton, Mark August. Can we put this up on screen? These are just some. I think there's a fifth somebody mentioned, but I want to verify that. We know that these are some of the January 6 defenders who've taken their lives after they lost everything over the protest. They're up on screen right now. The Department of Justice, FBI, and media in the entire January 6 committee has blood on its hands. John, your reaction?
Restorative justice is essential. We're gathering J6 defenders and as well as the entire country and the world as advocates to get this movement for restorative justice. Please join us at wearej6.com. And what that means is we need a national reckoning with the truth of what happened, with the weaponized government, with the corruption of the DOJ and the prosecutors, and with the harms and catastrophe inflicted on these folks. So we need to make them whole. We're talking historic civil damages. We want to work in cooperation with the incoming Trump administration to make sure this happens in the right fashion. And also that there is serious accountability, as Julie Kelly mentioned. We must hold these government officials to account and make sure that as a prosecutor and as a judge, that you are upholding the Constitution and you are not willfully participating in a collusion to violate civil rights. Title 18, Code 242, under color of law, violating civil rights. There is strong law in place that must be enforced, and we need a reckoning with these institutions.
Really quick, recount for our audience, you were in solitary confinement in federal prison.
That's right.
And now you have a full pardon from the President of the United States. Put that in the words the best you possibly can, John. 30 seconds.
I mean, what I am so grateful for is that by exercising what I call uncomfortable courage, knowing what's right and wrong and choosing right, fighting against evil, I actually refused the plea deal and therefore was vindicated at the U.S. Supreme Court. And I'm about ready to be vindicated and exonerated legally even before the pardon comes. So that's a representation of the fact that we were innocent, betrayed by a corrupt government. We stood strong. The pardons clear the decks and reset the narrative that we have been exonerated, and we must examine what the government has done wrong.
John, congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie. God bless you.